Hi and welcome back. This is the print, str and int methods. This coding exercise has three parts. Inside the exercise function, a function and a method are essentially the same thing. You may see me use both. And we have to print the string hello, world, ! inside this exercise function. To make sure your code is inside the function, write your line of code with 4 spaces in front of it. And I'm going to go into exactly why that is in a moment. We're also going to create a variable called strnum, which is going to be the num variable down here, converted to a string. And we're also going to create a variable int grade, which is the grade variable converted to an int. Okay, let's look at the first part of this exercise. What we have here is a function or a method. The word method, by the way, is normally used for a function that is inside a class. So you may see me use both. Most people don't know the difference, and it doesn't really matter which one you use, really. But nevertheless, here we've got a function because it's not inside the class. We're going to look at what that is later on. And all we have to do is print the string hello world. A function, like here, is a name for a block of code. So all the code underneath this statement here is going to run whenever you want to execute this function. So it's just going to run whatever code is under it. We're going to look at this in more detail in a moment in the next couple of videos. So what we want to do is put some code inside this function to make sure it runs when we run the function. And the code checker is going to run the function for us. All we have to do is put the code in the function. And the way we make sure that the code is in the function is by making sure that there are spaces in front of the line of code. So here we can see that these 3 comments here have 4 spaces in front of them. The code that we want to put in the function also has to have 4 spaces. So I have some spaces in front, and I'm going to print hello world there. As soon as we want to write some code that is not in the function, we just remove the spaces, as I have done here. Num equals 27 is not in the function because it doesn't have spaces. And that brings us to the second part of this exercise. Create a variable called str_num, which is the num variable converted to a string. So what I have is a variable called num, and we're going to create another one called strnum, which is num converted to a string. And it tells us that we can use the str method. And we know what that is. So str_num can be str of num. Of course, it would be equally valid to just type the string 27 there. It means the same thing. However, I would encourage you to use the str function here. And similarly, at the end, I have created a variable called grade, and we're going to create another one called int grade, which is this one converted to an integer. So int grade is going to be int of grade. Let's check the solution. And as you can see, all of that is correct. So what we've done, we've put some code inside a function. We're going to look at how to create functions in a couple of videos. And we've also looked at the str and int functions that we've called here to create 2 other variables. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.